Dr. Rhoda Byrd. I'm back with you with the Detroit Prayer Revival interviews. So excited today to have with me a very special guest, Dr. John Saba, who is well known as a patriarch in the city of Detroit. And we're excited to have him because he's going to talk to us a little bit about Pray for Detroit. I believe he is the father of this movement and just want to talk to him about that as well as some other things. So without further ado, welcome, Dr. Saba.
Oh, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. Good to see you.
Yes, it's good to have you.
It's good to share with your audience. I mean, it's just a time. It's an awesome time. It's an awesome biblical time. It's an awesome time in the Word of God. It's an awesome time for the move of God's people. And the fallacy, I guess, is that if we talk about a move and everybody thinks of going up, but the move is really going down. The move is decreasing, that he might increase. And that's a challenge. That becomes a challenge at any level for anyone. I mean, as you know, with my own situation at home, you know, the more I decrease, the more I see him increasing in me. And I'm just reminding Genesis, but I didn't come here to preach about that.
Yes, you did.
Okay, you have to be careful when you give the preacher the mic. But anyway, he says that the earth was cursed for your sake. And the dying of the flesh is the most challenging thing. The realization that Jesus did not come to show us how to live, but that he came to show us how to die.
How to die.
How to die. How to die to self. How to die to ego, to pride, and everything that represents this flesh man. And it's a...
Talk to us a little bit about the revelation you got this morning, because I think it leads into where we need to be before we can actually have a prayer revival.
Yeah. For Christ so loved the church that he gave himself up. He died for the church. In like fashion, should a man, a husband, die for his wife. And going through that dying process requires you don't judge. Going through that dying process requires you don't condemn. Going through that dying process requires you to just remove yourself from the picture and look at it as though you're an outsider. And you know, after 52 years of marriage, you learn a few words, a few things. And I know one thing, that men and women are marriage put together not to bring out the best, but to bring out the worst in you, so you know what part ain't dead. Oh yeah, what part you got to work on.
That's right.
Where'd you hide your anger? Where did you hide your ability to judge? And that's a challenge. That's a challenge to any man.
So tell us, how long have you been married?
52 years.
52 years to the same beautiful bride.
To the same beautiful
we
bride.
Say hello to Janine.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome. And God has just blessed me so much. And she is the Lord in my life. And that's the way it should be. When you feed him, you fed me. When you clothe her, you clothe me. When you visit him in the prison or the hospital, you're visiting me. The oneness, the unity, the Lord's prayer is our prayer. His prayer was that we be one. We be one. In order to be one, we have to die as individual tabernacles, and then that's what I teach. Die as the tabernacle, so we can come together and form the temple. The temple is the oneness.
I feel led I feel led, the Lord, to ask you a question,
sure.
And if you feel led, share. Can you give us your testimony?
Wait.
Janine is a very crucial part of how you became the Dr. John Saba that we know you to be today.
Oh, yes.
And
She's
we know
awesome.
that she prayed endlessly for you because...
Yes. I was involved in a whole bunch of stuff.
That's right.
The place at our home, or our prayer room. I used to be an altar to other gods, because I was seeking. I was trying to find, and I really didn't know where it was. Is it over there? Is it in there? That religion, that book, what have you. But at the same time, she was on the phone line calling in prayer warriors, praying for me, to bring me out, to bring me out of stuff. I mean stuff. I can't even describe some of the stuff because it's wild. It's wild, but it brings you to understand that you come out of a part of Egypt so that you can return and bring others out.
Yes.
You can't be really great at talking to a group of women that have gone through an abortion unless in your old self, your old man, you marketed abortion tablets and you realize that the old man caused more abortions than the entire room. And it's a humbling experience, but it's a strength. It's a strengthening. So every time you're going through whatever it is, it's just to strengthen you. It's just to strengthen you to understand who you are and who He is inside of you. And to realizing that you are not a gift. We are carrying the gift. We're just the wrapping for the gift. And in order that the gift come out, the wrapping has to remove itself and get out of the way. Get totally...
God gave you a revelation about abortion and dealing with cosmetics. He had been dealing with you in prayer concerning some of the suicides and some things that are happening with our famous people, our stars. And can you share
our
a little
celebrities,
bit about that?
our celebrities. And many times they don't realize that a lot of times, because they have the money, a lot of times they have very expensive cosmetics that have as an ingredient, many times a main ingredient, placenta. And the placenta many times does not come from a normal, healthy delivery, if you would, but from an aborted baby, from an aborted fetus, if you would. And the placenta doesn't go to the mother. The placenta stays with the institution or the organization that did the, whatever it was, that did it. Okay? And all I'm sharing with you is the transference of the character, the transference of the emotions, the transference of the DNA, the transference of the spirit. Remember, God said, His blood cries out to me from the grave. His blood cries out to me. There was a dead man that was thrown in a cave, and Elijah's bones that are dead, Elijah's bones that were there, boom, and the man came alive. The word memory comes from the Hebrew word water, M-E-M, water. And this table hears everything that we're saying. Hears everything that we're saying. The memory is stored in matter as well as in water. It absolutely is. There's so much about that. So much about that. I mean, it's in everything. I get excited when I think about it. But it's not that you have to get rid of your cosmetics or throw away your wig because that hair came from somebody you don't know. Hello? Or throw away your gifts. Some people carry gifts in the house that are from people that they no longer like, but they like the gift. You know, hello. Hello, a boyfriend he or she used to date.
That's right.
But no more, right?
We know about you were talking about the spiritual attachments to the things.
Yes.
And you were sharing with me yesterday at lunch about the importance of prayer. They don't have to discard all of their products, but they need to pray and break off
every attachment. Break off every attachment to the hair. Break off every attachment to the placenta. Break off every attachment to the gift. Break off every attachment to any type of blood transfusion that perhaps they got in the hospital. You break off every attachment of every negative word that was ever spoken over you. You break off attachments. You have to set yourself aside. You set yourself apart. Set aside and breaking ungodly soul ties. I mean, it's all in deliverance. But you can't go until you decrease, until you die, until you go to self. And then so when I was doing Pray for Detroit, if you would, I was doing this, the very first, and it's all in the book of Ezra and the book of Nehemiah. And in order to rebuild the city, you have to start out with the sheep gate. The sheep gate is one of prayer. The sheep gate is one of sacrifice. And then go to the fish gate, which is one of evangelism. You don't go to the fish gate if you're not prayed up. I mean, you can't command the day, okay? You can't command the day if you get up in the middle of the afternoon. You've got to be up before the day, and that's during the fourth watch between 3 and 6 a.m. When he walked on the water, and even Peter walked with him until Peter looked around. He said, you've got to get rid of all the senses when you want to deal with the things of God. I get excited about talking about God because that's what we're carrying. So sometimes I become so convinced that he doesn't even care about me. He cares about the gift that I'm carrying. So even now, it's my Lord to my Lord. I'm not talking to you. You're me. I'm you. There's only one bride of Christ. Right. How do we separate ourselves? Which is beyond ridiculousness. I mean, beyond stupidity. Way beyond. But anyway, don't get too excited.
I enjoy your passion and your enthusiasm. We need more of that, especially about prayer. We need more excitement, more enthusiasm about praying, communicating with the Father.
Prayer. You communicate best with the Father between the hours of 3 and 6, during the fourth watch, when he walked on the water, during the fourth watch in the early morning, when the Egyptian chariots were chasing the Israelites. And what happened? During the pillar of fire and the cloud. That means it went from dark to light. The angel of the Lord then took off the chariot wheels. Hello, somebody. It's between 3 and 6. It's during the fourth watch of the night that God hears your prayer so readily. Because, you know, you're into frequencies. We're into here. These people are hearing us because of frequencies and sounds and waves and vibrations. There's not so much cellular activity and going back and forth with cellular activity between the hours of 3 and 6 as it was between midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning. Hello, somebody that understands the street.
Okay,
I'm talking straight the way it is.
You had in your prayer for Detroit, I don't want to forget this. Yeah. The Lord showed you that there are 2, I believe, cities that are shaped exactly like Jerusalem. Jerusalem is shaped like a key. And there, one was Detroit, and then I think out in the west in California.
Yeah,
is that right?
In California. You know, when I studied, and I'm going to California again, I'm thinking of our friend. But anyway, in California, if the entire map of the United States is laid out, if you laid out that map according to the tabernacle pattern of Moses, and you come in through the Appalachian Mountains, the east side, where the coal, where the burning, where the fire is, and next we come to Michigan, the water basin, the same as the water laven, and next we come to the breadbasket, hello, up there, in Montana, North Dakota. And down here you have the candlestick in the south part, filled with oil. That's the candlestick. And then you go across through Vail, Colorado, through the Holy Vail, and you go into the Rocky Mountains, okay? And you go into the altar of incense. And then beyond that you go to California, which is the Gold Coast, the Ark of the Covenant. Everything is lined up according to the tabernacle pattern. But my studies were primarily back here. I came from Appalachia area, okay, the coal region, the burning, and where I'm at now here in Michigan, the hand of God, as far as I'm concerned, the hand of God, the thumb, and part of the thumb, if you would, the anointing on the thumb, the copper from the top of Michigan, along with the tin, if you would, from Pennsylvania, made the brass, and there's only 2 items. Only 2 items in the entire tabernacle that are made of brass, and that is the brazen altar and the brazen laver. And so that made a contact between me and my friends in Pennsylvania, you know what I mean? It's God just doing it. And this is what made part of the whole testimony, the whole story of us dying to self, going through all the things that we go through to form Him inside of us. That you don't see me, but see He that's inside of me. And yeah, being a real estate broker for 30 years, okay, so I look at a map of Detroit. I look at the womb. I look at the womb of the map.
Where's the womb located on the map?
Exactly where the tunnel is.
Wow. So it's located.
And if you follow the tunnel and go into Canada, you'll see that part of Canada is the male counterparts of the womb that I'm talking about. Okay? And that womb was formed by 75 on one side, if you would, and the larger I-10 on the other. And at the base of that womb, there happens to be not only is a tunnel there, but it's called Ren-Sen. That's where the Ren-Sen is. What does Ren-Sen mean? Rebirth.
Wow.
Okay, the fountain gate in Jerusalem, and go to the book of Ezra, go to the book of Nehemiah, look up the maps of Ezra and Nehemiah during the days of the construction or reconstruction of the walls of Jerusalem. Where the fountain gate is where the fountain is in Hart's Plaza. Where the prison gate is where the prison is in Detroit at 7 Mile and Mound. Hello, somebody, where the water gate is, where every single gate is directly depicted here, even where the fire started, the ovens, the Tower of the Ovens is exactly where it started, if you would, in Detroit, when the fire started in Detroit in 1967. Hello. Wake up, somebody! But it's not woodward. It's wormwood that has separated my people from my people. It's bitterness that has separated my people from my people, and the people have to come together. We have killed so many. We have killed so many Indians that we have a river going through the state called the Rouge River. Hello, somebody. We fed them alcohol. We fed them alcohol so much that they have addiction through the Indian line many times because we want to get a little bit of their land, and we got this and we stole that. And then we wonder why robbery and thievery just goes into the city. It's because that's what you honored. That's what you honored. That's what you honored. And I pray not just for this city, but for every city. We know what we've done wrong. We know what we've done wrong. We've aborted a nation, 50 million. It wasn't just that we aborted the baby. We aborted the assignment of God that was to be delivered through that baby. You know, it's just an awesomeness to understand who we are. And understand to come together, Rhoda, as one is the only cry. And I don't want to hear what version of the Bible you're reading. I don't want to hear about how you're baptized. I just want to hear that you love God. I just want to hear that you can love your other fellow men. I just want to hear that you don't judge so readily, that you think you got it all together. You think you got it all together and you can't even do the first miracle of converting water to wine. Don't tell me you got it all together. You've got it all together when you really understand the significance of a glass of water with the ice cubes that has form and definition and then loses its form and definition at temperature 32 to go to temperature 33 to fill the vessel that it's in. My God is so good. God is so good. I got to be nice and quiet. I know.
Just a moment.
But even as I look nice and quiet, I'm looking at my nails. That I go through the crucifixion. Yeah. The nails are in both my hands and both your hands and both your feet. Because this is the cross.
This is the cross.
This is the cross. The sacrifice was offered before the foundation of the earth. That was leaving divinity and taking on humanity, that he could show humanity how we can take on divinity. It's a different walk.
It's a different walk. We are, as you can see, we're just elated in this studio. There's even more to come. We have to take a brief moment for our commercial, and we will be right back with Dr. John Saba.
God gives us a great power in prayer. He said in Luke 10:19 that we have all authority over all the powers of darkness.
We are so excited about what God is doing in this time and season, and we want you to be a part of it. We believe that it's God's ultimate desire to pour out His presence upon His people, that we not only will experience Him and His fullness, but that our land will be healed.
2 Chronicles 7:14, God declares that if we, His people, who are called by His name, will humble ourselves, pray, seek His face, and turn from our wicked ways, then He will hear us from heaven, forgive us of our sins, and heal the land.
We are asking all prayer warriors to come out and join us from August 2014 through October 2014.
For more information concerning the Detroit Prayer Revival, please visit us at hebelongs.com, or you may call us at 248-351-6296.